गौरा भक्ता वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे राम राम हरे हरे श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु दया कर मोरे तुम बिना के दयालु जगत संसारे पतित पावन हेतु तव अवतारा मौसम पतिता प्रभु न पाइबे आरा आहा प्रभु नित्यानंदा प्रेमानंद सुखी कृपा बलो कन्या करो बोरो दुखी दया करो सीतापति अद्वैत गोसाई तव कृपा बले पाई चैतन्य निताय गौर प्रेम मय तनु पंडिता गदाधारा श्रीनिवास हरिदासा दोयार सागारा आहा स्वरूप सनातना रूप रघुनाथा कटजुगा श्रीजीव प्रभु लोकनाथा दया करो श्री आचार्य प्रभु श्रीनिवासा दया करो श्री आचार्य प्रभु श्रीनिवासा रामचंद्र संगमगे नरोत्तम दासा रामचंद्र संगमगे नरोत्तम दासा श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु दया करो मोरे तुम बिना के दयालु जगत संसारे श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu दया करो मोरे, तुम बिना के दयालु जगत संसारे. श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु दया करो मोरे, तुम बिना के दयालु जगत संसारे. श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय, पंचतत्वा की जय. श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय. कलियुग विदित पावन हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की जय. सामवेद भक्त वृंद की जय. नेक्टर ऑफ डिवोशन की जय. चैप्टर 13 की जय. पूर्णनंदिनी माधवी माता जी की जय. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय. निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे. हरि हरि बोल. So thank you all very much for joining in. We are starting chapter number 13. We've already crossed more than 50%. We are already on the stage of Krishna Prem. We are already diving deep into the ocean of transcendental bliss by the mercy of all these wonderful speakers. So today's speaker is Her Grace Purnanandini Madhavi Mataji. So we are very thankful to Mataji for taking our time to enlighten us about the 13th chapter of the Nectar of Devotion that we are studying today. Right, Mataji?
Hare Krishna, Mataji, Dandat Pranam. Thank you, Mataji, for pitching in. Being Grasta, sometimes not able to join. Sorry,
no problem.
Sorry,
you are
Mataji.
giving us your association for the next 1 hour. That itself is enough, Mataji. We are actually greedy. We want more association, but we will extend more later. 12:15 tak hum log extend karenge. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, with your enthusiasm and your speed, only 50% is done as a surprise. It should have been done by now. Okay. In that note, we will start. Thank you, Mataji, very much. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Welcoming you all for this 13th chapter of Nectar of Devotion. Yeah, when I'm preparing for these classes, I really wonder how much more mercy can I ask for? And more than that, really so undeserving. So that is the mercy of devotees and the mercy of the Lord coming through devotees. Anyhow, and the mercy of all of you to join in so enthusiastically to hear from me. That is a real, that is really mercy, I would say. Thanking you all with prayers. Start with prayers.
Okay, let's welcome Her Grace Purnanandini Mataji. We loudly chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Over to you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you, Mataji. Nana Shastra Vicharanaika Nipunam Saddharma Samstapakau Lokanam Hitakarino Tribhuvane Manyo Sharanyakaro Radha Krishna Padarvinda Bhajananande Namattaliko Vande Rupa Sanatano Raghuyugo Shri Jiva Gopalako. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the 6 Goswamis, namely Sri Sanatana Goswami, Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Raghunatha Bhatta Goswami, Sri Raghunatha Dasa Goswami, Sri Jiva Goswami, and Sri Gopala Bhatta Goswami, who are very expert in scrutinizingly studying all the revealed scriptures with the aim of establishing eternal religious principles for the benefit of all human beings. Thus, they are honored all over the three worlds, and they are worth taking shelter of because they are absorbed in the mood of the gopis and are engaged in transcendental and loving service of Radha Krishna. Om Gnanatimirandasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Mena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Yeah, I hope it doesn't seem like pouring water on fire like after that super kirtan from Medhavini Mataji. Anyhow, we shall continue. Devotees, kindly take this opportunity to read from the Nectar of Devotion. I don't see anybody raising their hands. Please start. Yes, Arun Gupta. Arun, yeah, yes, Mataji.
Shall I read, Mataji?
Mataji, please raise your hands. I will call out. Yeah. Yeah. Arun Gupta Prabhu, please start. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, Tanvar Pranam. Hare Krishna. Chapter 13, Nectar of Devotion, 5 potent forms of devotional service. Rupa Goswami has stated that 5 kinds of devotional service, namely residing in Mathura, worshipping the deity of the Lord, reciting Srimad Bhagavatam, serving a devotee, and chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, are so potent that a small attachment to any of these 5 items can arouse devotional ecstasy even in a neophyte. Regarding worship of the form of the Lord,
yeah, Prabhu,
or deity,
we have many
Rupa Goswami has written the following.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. We'll one paragraph because we try to give chance to. So, Rupa Goswami, yeah, thank you. Rupa Goswami Pad and Sri Sanatana Goswami Pad were so lucky or so blessed to have constant association of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, right? And these first 5 aspects of residing in Mathura, worshipping the Lord, reciting Srimad Bhagavatam, serving a devotee, and chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra was directly given, the instruction directly given to Rupa Goswami Pad from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Anybody wants to try where the 10 days instructions to Rupa Goswami Pad was given from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Any devotee? Ashwamedha. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Mataji. Yes, Medhavani Mataji will have to wait for some time with due respects and kindly forgive me. I'll ask Archana Mataji to read.
Hare Krishna, Pranams Mataji.
Shloka, yeah, the chapter, paragraph 2.
Regarding worship of the form of the Lord or deity, Rupa Goswami has written the following verse. My dear friend, if you still have any desire to enjoy the company of your friends within this material world, then don't look upon the form of Krishna, who is standing on the bank of Keshighat, a bathing place in Vrindavana. He is known as Govinda, and his eyes are very enchanting. He is playing upon his flute, and on his head there is a peacock feather, and his whole body is illuminated by the moonlight in the sky. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Hare Krishna. So the satire we are seeing here now, it's satire, but then it is actually giving us what is the process. I mean, the abhidya, the prayojana aspect of devotional service. Like if we really are still desiring to enjoy company of friends within this material world, or enjoying any aspect in this material world, then devotional service is not for such of them. And even for all of us who are in the path of devotional service, time and again, Acharya say, even a small iota or small desire will keep us here or keep us here either in this own body, or we come back to fulfill our desires. So as we progress, we have to have a measure of ourselves. It helps us to keep a buddy, buddy, or somebody where we can share how much we are progressing in our conscious level, Krishna conscious level regularly. Say, just for example, every Ekadashi, we can ourselves measure, or we can have somebody to, share our how we have been over the 2 weeks, how many days we have kind of slipped down for whatever reasons, and then how we can work on that. Now, this aspect of body helps because otherwise, I'm more so speaking from my perspective. My mind always says, "Oh, ho, ho, very nice devotee, you're chanting nicely, you're doing class, this, that," right? When we have somebody to reflect on what we are doing, then that's a good measure. It can be one person, it can be a group, whatever, where we can share. It can be a senior, peer, whatever. But it is good to have that, right? Because invariably we have measures for everything else. It's school, college, job, the money we are earning, the assets we are making. We always we want to see ourselves in progress. But then here, all that is again within this material world. Now, if we want this aspect of our devotional service to increase, this is one example that I gave, not necessarily that it has to be the only example, to measure ourselves and to help us to move forward, right? Yes, I will call out for Bharati Mataji, who unmuted
Yes,
to read. Yes, Mataji, please read this.
the purport on that para, Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji, the purport.
The purport of this verse is that if someone becomes attached to the Sri Murti or deity of Krishna by worshipping at home, then he will forget his relationship of so-called friendship, love, and society. Thus, it is the duty of every householder to install deities of the Lord at home and to begin the process of worshipping along with all of his family members. This will save everyone from such unwanted activities as going to clubs, cinemas, dancing parties, smoking, drinking, etc. All such nonsense will be forgotten if one stresses the worship of deities at home. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So, these are all the sadhanas Srila Prabhupada gave us to purify ourselves and to make us more attached to, make us more attached to Krishna consciousness through various ways. Now, this is another very powerful way. Personally, I would like to share my experience. Like, we are a small family, and then invariably, what used to happen if we had some family functions to attend, then we would just close the kitchen, no cooking, right? Because all of us would go. And then when my son grew up and then he started working or college, and when he couldn't come, like there was literally used to be a kind of tussle, right? You just for him, I have to cook, and it used to be a what to say, kind of burden. Then just for one person cooking, how can I cook this, that? Then this was until we came to Krishna consciousness, right? And then once we came to Krishna, and especially after we installed our Gaurnitai and Ladu Gopal deities, then the scenario changed. I was very happy that my son didn't want to come with us, right? And because that is how it started, just because I had to cook for my son. Or after one age, when my in-laws were kind of bedridden, I had to cook for them. Then I was very happy. Though it was not the right procedure, right? It had to be the other way around, that I had to cook for the deities and then serve others. But then, being so conditioned, even then, now, of course, there's a change, like irrespective of who my in-laws are no more, but then my son sometimes eats, sometimes doesn't eat. But still, you know, this aspect of cooking for the Lord is the priority now. From coming, my son likes this, my husband likes this, or sometimes I like this. Now the meditation is, you know, Gaurnita, do you like this? Shall I make this? You know, kind of this thing. Now this may sound very for people who are not in the devotional service, it may sound very, you know, are they in the right frame of mind that they are talking to somebody who is not visible or something. But then once we develop a relationship with the deities, in fact, many years ago, there was during Sandhu Upanayanam, we gave some Lakshmi Narayana deities, silver deities, to close circle, right? And then one Madhva family who was very devoted, and when we gave it to them, they said, you know, the deity, it was together on a small pita. And then when I gave this to that Mataji, Shobha Mataji, I very evidently remember, we were not in Krishna conscious still at then. Then evidently I remember, when she received it, she said, the deities are beautiful, but then they become more beautiful as and when we start praying to them daily. And then, you know, there was a very wonderful way that we got the Saligram Shila. And then I heard in some other lecture that when you have Saligram Shila at home, every day rice has to be offered to the Saligram Shila, right? So this is how the deities reciprocate. I mean, I'm saying how they reciprocate in the sense, like, you know, even getting these information about deities and other things, right, helps us to keep our Krishna conscious intact in spite of so many things, you know, at home, outside home. There are many households where, you know, devotees are not able to serve deities, right? So for everything, Srila Prabhupada, through the scriptures, through the acharyas, has given us solutions for this. And more so, deity worship, now, like, it really feels difficult, you know, once you get attached to deities. Medhavani Mataji also can share how difficult it is to, you know, be away from them if we didn't offer puja. That's how I got a little late today, because my Prabhu had some urgent work and he couldn't do the arati, and then I ended up doing arati. I said, okay, 5 minutes, the class, and I conveniently took the shelter of Medhavini Mataji. She will do the kirtan, and then, but then my deities, we are only there to do the offering, I mean, do the arati and other things. So that is how we develop a relationship, right? And Prabhupada, several occasions, has said, if one, and of course through Shastras, if one thinks the deity is just some metal, some wood, then he's a Pashandiyara, I mean, he's a atheist, right? And how the deity is non-different from the Lord himself, right? So that is how, in several ways, we can you know, relate to people who are into deity worship, how they reciprocate with us, right? Of course, it definitely helps us to keep away from all these things of clubs, cinemas, dancing, parties, smoking, and other things, because that is how you eventually start thinking that I have to purify myself, I have to be pure if I have to serve the deities. So even that thought, from that thought, you're right, even from that thought, how Krishna brings us to himself, closer to himself, and then how, in spite of so many anarthas, you know, when anarthas, in the sense, anarthas and the offenses that we do during the deity worship, how still the Lord accepts it. And that is why he comes in the Murti form, right? To give us this personal aspect of experiencing the personal aspect of this thing. And His Grace Sri Chaitanya Das, this particular aspect was saying, people who are connected to temple should give priority to deities in the temple without neglecting the deities at home, but the priority is at temple, because that is catering to a larger section of devotees and new devotees who are coming, trying to make a balance of both. But definitely the deities at temple are a priority, is what he was trying to say. So I will ask Padma Mataji to read the next paragraph. Padma Mataji, are you there?
Yes, yes, Mataji.
Yes.
Hare Krishna, Danda Pranam, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Rupa Goswami further writes, my dear foolish friend, I think that you have already heard some of the auspicious Srimad Bhagavatam, which decries seeking the result of fruitive activities, economic development, and liberation. I think that now it is certain that gradually the verse of the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, describing the pastimes of the Lord, will enter your ears and go into your heart.
Okay. So it's for Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So describing the Lord will enter your ears and into your heart. Now see, even let's for a moment think we were not in devotional service, right? What is it all of us are aspiring for in the material world? Happiness, yes, definitely happiness and peace. But then all of us invariably want the best of everything, isn't it? Yes or no? Yeah, one thumbs up if
yes,
you agree.
Mataji.
We want the best of everything, right? Now let's for a second think of a person who has the best of everything, right? Maybe the money, the family, education, beauty, everything he has best. Of course, we know, even though he has best of everything, he is not away from Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi, right? And now that is, that is one aspect. Now, even on the mundane level, right? The best of everything. What is it that they desire for, especially with the present scenario? They want pure air, they want pure food, pure water, right? And after all that, they want pure relationships. What is pure relationship? You know, somebody to love and to be loved without any expectations or without anything attached to it, right? Now, now all this is definitely not possible in the material world. Even though we are trying to be in the devotional path, right? Some expectations are there. I mean, it is the aspect of pure devotees who get into that thing where they don't expect anything but just give out pure love, right? So trying to get all these on the material plane, pure love, pure water, pure this thing, right? In the material world is a foolish, it's very foolish is what Rupa Goswami Pada is saying. So that is how, the Srimad Bhagavatam brings us out of this illusion or out of this foolishness of expecting all this from the material world, and then gives us the reality of the spiritual world. Now, one more aspect I want to just add before we go to the next paragraph. Now, we meet so many people in our lives, right? Right from birth, parents, siblings, relatives, friends, and then colleagues, and so many types of people. Now, somewhere down the lane, all of us, we expect everybody to love us the same way, say like a parent loves us, or we want to love them in the same way. Is it possible, devotees, to love the number of people that we meet in the span of our lives, to love them or to be loved without any this thing? Is it possible?
No, Mataji.
It is not possible. So that also is possible only in the spiritual world. Because Krishna, see, we are talking of unlimited kind of giving love and taking love, right? That is possible only in the spiritual world. So Srimad Bhagavatam, gets into our ears and heart and tries to help us to get out of this foolishness. Foolishnessness. Yeah, okay. Sindhu Mataji, please read the next paragraph. In the beginning. Sindhu Mataji.
Pranam Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Mataji.
Prabhupada ki jai. The beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said that unless one has the ability to throw out, just like garbage, the fruitive results of ritualistic ceremonies, economic development, and becoming one with the Supreme or salvation, one cannot understand Srimad Bhagavatam. The Bhagavatam deals exclusively with devotional service. Only one who studies Srimad Bhagavatam in the spirit of renunciation can understand the pastimes of the Lord that are described in the 10th canto. In other words, one should not try to understand the topics of the 10th canto, such as the Rashalila love dance, unless he has spontaneous attraction for Srimad Bhagavatam. One must be situated in pure devotional service before he can relish Srimad Bhagavatam as it is.
Okay. So,
continue. Okay.
No, Mataji, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, one has to throw out garbage of, invariably, devotees read it as fruitive. Actually, it is just fruitive. There is no another T. It is not in this forum. Many forums, it is, it is just fruitive results. I mean, not pointing out at anybody, but then somehow that word is repeatedly said as fruitive, but it is just fruitive results, right? Srimad Bhagavatam helps us to come to this aspect of, and Bhagavatam deals with devotional service, and especially 10th canto, right? Now, 10th canto, why are the acharyas giving us a caution of this, right? Because first of all, being conditioned and our knowledge, our being limited, right? Going to the 10th canto or trying to understand the 10th canto, especially about Ras Leela and all that, is not recommended, right? In fact, even the Lord himself, as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, never discussed, and we very well know Srila Prabhupada never discussed the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, especially about Ras Leela. In whatever lectures, just maybe a mention of it, right? So if they are taking so much of precaution, then it is a message for all of us that we have to go through the Srimad Bhagavatam from first canto. In fact, I heard in one lecture, if one has to go beyond the fourth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, then this aspect of lusty desires has to kind of be reduced, right? Even just if we have to go after fourth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. And then how does this happen? Because devotees ask Srila Prabhupada directly. I mean, I forget the devotee's name. He goes and asks Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, I'm having very lusty desires. What can I do? So he goes once and asks, and then he doesn't get an answer. Then again, the next day or next opportunity, he goes and asks. Again, he doesn't get an answer. Then third or fourth time when he goes, then Srila Prabhupada looks at him and he says, Govinda Icha. It is only by Govinda Icha. So if we are able to go beyond the fourth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, I mean, this is what even if we are, then that means there must be Govinda Icha. That means we have kind of at least little qualified to read Srimad Bhagavatam beyond the fourth canto. And then if we are reaching 10th canto, then that means the Lord is, the mercy of devotees is for us to help us removing our anarthas and to read the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Like how everything is, ordained by the Lord, right? So this is also ordained by the Lord. So how is it be ordained by the Lord? Now if we are reading, if somebody who has not yet started reading or who is reading Srimad Bhagavatam and they read this paragraph, and then, then the desire comes to go and pray to the acharyas pray to the Parampara, pray to the Lord that I want to read the 10th canto, reach up to there. So help me pray to the Guru, help me to reach to that by removing the anarthas. So that is the only way, right? Prayers and ritualistic ceremonies also. So I mean, like, especially if we are coming from traditional, I mean, like, I feel more so in the South India, we have a lot of ritualistic ceremonies, right? More ritualistic ceremonies if you compare to the North. It is very difficult to get out of it because I come from such a family. So many rituals, then you suddenly feel, if I stop doing this, is it okay? If I don't do that puja, is it okay? I mean, initially when we came to Krishna consciousness in these things, and then that is how when preachers, when we were listening initially, says Masuchaha, Krishna says, don't worry, Sarva Dharman Parityaja. Ultimately you're doing all that only to please me. So we are ultimately coming to devotional service, or he gives us the intelligence, right? To how to dovetail even those ritualistic ceremonies as into devotional service, right? We may still have to do some rituals to not look very gross in the family circle. Then you still do it, and then, or you have an opportunity to give prasadam, you convert it, dovetail it that way. So that is the intelligence which is given by reading Srimad Bhagavatam with devotees and by the mercy of devotees, right? Shubha Mataji can read the next paragraph.
Hare Krishna, Pandit. Very good.
Okay. Hare Krishna.
Srila Prabhupada speaks in the beginning of Bhagavad, Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said that unless one has the ability to throw.
Mataji, Hare Krishna, you're repeating. Actually, in the above two verses.
In the above two verses, Haribol. In the above two verses of Rupa Goswami, there are some metaphorical analogies that indirectly condemn the association of materialistic society, friendship, and love. People are generally attracted to society, friendship, and love, and they make elaborate arrangements and strong endeavor to develop these material contaminations. But to see the Sri Murtis of Radha and Krishna is to forget such endeavor for material association. Rupa Goswami composed his verse in such a way that he was seemingly praising the material association of friendship and love and was condemning the audience of Sri Murti or Govinda. This metaphorical analogy is constructed in such a way that things that seem to be praised or condemned and things that are to be condemned or praised. The actual import of the verse is that one must see the form of Govinda in if one at all wants to forget the nonsense of material friendship, love, and society. Haribol,
Hare Krishna. So, yeah, I mean, like, I think all of us are in this path. We have various ways of associating with the non-devotees. I mean, I will say non-devotees as of now, right? Even we were non-devotees at some time, and then, but actually, it helps. It helps us from if we are not born into a devotee family, and if we have taken up to Krishna consciousness after some point of time, at some little later age, then we know what is the feelings that the materialistic people going through, right? And then when we take to Krishna consciousness, how it feels like Srila Prabhupada says, they think we are mad, we think they are mad. But why I'm saying this, how it helps us is, like, we know, like, how it was difficult when we made that switch over of eating habits, and then getting into sadhana habits, and then how difficult it was. So this should actually, in one sense, help us to have more compassion to them, because I was there sometime, and then by somebody's mercy I came this side. And also it gives us a practical aspect of how, you know, we can be careful with things that they discuss, and then how we have to really cut off ourselves, even though being with them, you know, like the tortoise example Krishna gives in Bhagavad Gita chapter 2, how the tortoise, you know, pulls all its limbs inside, then being in the midst of non-devotees or who are yet to be devotees, I'll put it that way, who are yet to be devotees, how we can still, you know, keep our Krishna conscious intact. How the best way is, you know, in the last line says, must see the form of Govinda. Now, just by seeing, now we are, say, outside in the office or something, right? And we have in the meeting, if we are at our desk, then we can have Bhagavad Gita, or in the laptop, we can have the photo of Krishna or something. But if you say you are in a meeting, then what happens? That is when, you know, manmana bhavad bhakto, thinking, you know, contemplating in the mind, trying to remember the Murti of the Lord, what we saw, maybe during the Arati or our deities, or, you know, if we have attended the Sunday feast program in temple and we saw the beautiful decoration of the deities, try to remember that, right? And then what happens? Instead of us being influenced by these people who are yet to be devotees, rather, without us knowing, the Paramatma works, and then our whatever small impact of devotional service will be on them. It is not because I am the devotee, I am having an impact on them. It is because I try to remember the Murti of the Lord. Then the Lord, being pleased, works as Paramatma in them to be in the to be pulled this side, rather than me being pulled that side. So if we can remember this aspect, what aspect of trying to remember the deity or remembering any form of the Lord, and that is how the Lord will help. I mean, I gave an example of office. It can be any circumstance, at home, at office, at any gatherings, you know. Ultimately, we have to remember it is that Paramatma who has to make the change. Ours is only an endeavor. We are only an instrument there, right? If we can remember that aspect, that I'm being an instrument, and even to remember you at that moment, giving me that matta smritir gnanam apohanam cha. You are giving me that remembrance to remember you, right? Even that, if we can remember, that is also the mercy of the acharyas, mercy of the devotees. So we will forget the nonsense, material, friendship, love, and society. Either we forget it, or forgetting it means, you know, not allowing it to be influenced, because we live in this society, right? So that is the import that we can take. Rohini Mataji can read the next paragraph. Srila Rupa Goswami, Hare Krishna.
Srila Rupa Goswami has similarly described the transcendental nature of relishing topics that concern Krishna. A devotee once said, "It is very astonishing that since I have seen this personality of Godhead, who is washed by the tears of my eyes, there is shivering of my body, and he has made me a failure in executing my material duties. Since seeing him, I cannot remain silently at home. I wish to go out to him always." The purport of this statement is that as soon as one is fortunate enough to contact a pure devotee, one must be anxious immediately to hear about Krishna, to learn about Krishna, or in other words, to become fully Krishna conscious. Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. So, contact with a pure devotee. Sadhu Sangha Sarva Shastra Kahe, Lava Matra Sadhu Sangha Sarva Siddhi Hoye. Right? Sarva Siddhi Hoye. Right? Lava Matra. What is the Shastra saying? So, when we have the opportunity to meet pure devotees, you know, we should never miss that opportunity, because we never know, I mean, like how much of our anarthas, how much of our Krishna, how much it boosts our Krishna consciousness, right? Just by seeing them, just by hearing from them. And why we should hear from them, right? They are they're drowned in Krishna consciousness. They're drowned in the aspect of Krishna, 24/7, day in and day out. So what happens, something called Vak Shuddhi. What is Vak Shuddhi? If now I'm saying something, if I'm following it, the aspect of, if I'm following it, and then that has the maximum impact on the people. And then if I don't follow, it doesn't have an impact, because there again the Paramatma is working, because you're saying something. That's why Prabhupada says Acharya, Achar, and then Prachar. Right? Do the Acharana. That is why he's called an Acharya, right? So now with the pure devotees, they have nothing else in their lives other than Krishna. Antar Bahir Yadi Krishna. You can see every aspect of what we see in the scriptures, in the Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Nectar of Devotion. Every aspect you can see in the pure devotee, right? That how they are really living examples of the Shastra. They are walking Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam. So the same thing we might have heard, read from various other devotees, or various, we ourselves would have read, but then when they say it, it makes such a strong impact because of their purity, right? So there here again, the aspect of purity comes, pure devotees. And then how it really cuts the knot of the material bondage. Like in the 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Dridena Chitva, the shloka of 15:3 and 4. 15:3 and 4, how there Krishna is saying, with an axe cut the knot of the material bond, and how tightly that knot is, right? It gives the example of the banyan tree, because you don't even know where it starts, tangled, entangled, so much. You're removing one knot, then you suddenly, so 5 more knots come up, to be disentangled, right? So that knot is cut by, these pure devotees, the association of pure devotees, by listening from pure devotees, because they have cut it off. We can allow an untied person, if somebody's hands are tied, my hands are tied, I cannot untie anybody's hands. So the pure devotees' hands are always untied, and so they the only ones who are able to untie our tied hands, tied in our own ego, tied in our own relationship, tied in this material world, right? So that is how we have to always take association of pure devotees. And very mercifully, Srila Prabhupada, through his books, he's always giving us association, right? So if you drown in Srila Prabhupada's books, either by reading, by distributing, in whatever way, then, to that much extent, we are untied from this super entangling tied material world, right? So the last paragraph for today, I'll ask Virendra Prabhu, and my apologies to Medhavini Mataji that I couldn't give her a chance for reading. Yes, Virendra Prabhu, the last paragraph for today. Virendra Prabhu, are you there?
Yes, I'm there. I'm listening you. Hare Krishna. Shall I read from similarly?
Yes, that's the only, that's the paragraph.
Okay. Similarly, there is a statement about hearing and chanting the Mahamantra. It is said that saints have been able to hear the vibrations, string of the Veena in the hands of Narada, who is always singing the glories of Lord Krishna. Now this same sound vibration has entered my ears, and I am always feeling the presence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Gradually, I am becoming bereft of all attachments of many enjoyment.
Okay. Hare Krishna. So, now the most important and the only aspect of devotional service is coming here. What is it? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Chanting of the holy name. which is the only thing recommended for Kali Yuga, which is the not okay, the only thing recommended in Kali Yuga, but even in other yugas, right? The holy name is the supremost thing, right? And all our sadhanas, right, is to bring us to the aspect of trying to chant the holy names without any offenses, right? From offensive chanting, from Nama Aparada to Shuddha Nama. All these, whatever, if we are doing all these devotional services and it is not improving, it is not helping us to improve the quality of chanting, then we need to relook how we have to do it, right? 95%, 90 or 95%, I forget, of all the devotional aspects depends on our quality of chanting, the acharyas say. That is why the first thing that we do, yes, Mangalarti, and the first thing that we do is chant 16 rounds of japa, right, before we get into anything. Even if there are many instances when they say, because of grihasthas, especially the Matajis, children have to go, I have to offer this, that. So they used to tell us at least chant 10 rounds before you start cooking, because that is what you will be cooking. Otherwise, without chanting, then we will give all unwanted things in the food which goes to the children, right? So that is this thing. And of course, we know so many glories of the Mahamantra, like how anybody can chant, anytime can chant, right? And then, anywhere we can chant. In any avastha we can chant, right? We cannot do any deity worship in the bathroom, but the holy name can be taken. Then I was listening to one His Grace Amarendra Prabhu's lecture, and then he was glorifying His Grace Ayendra Prabhu, how his kirtans were so ecstatic, and his realizations of the holy name. In fact, he quoted few things, shlokas. It says, mana bhavabad bhakto, right? Ayendra Prabhu used to say, instead of mana, he says nama, right? Many shlokas. What is that in the 14th chapter? Shloka of Mam Chayo Avyabhicharena Bhakti Yogena Sevate. Ayendra Prabhu used to say, Nam Chayo Avyabhichar. Then Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mam Ekam Shar. Everywhere Mam, he replaced it with Nam. Right? So that is, coming from a pure devotee, realized soul, like how important it is, the name of the Lord, holy name of the Lord, right? And then one most important aspect of the holy name, right? This when we attended a japa workshop, how to do japa workshop many years ago from His Grace Mahatma Das Prabhu, right? So this was very catchy for me, like when he said, what is the only difference between Krishna and Krishna's name? Anybody wants to try? What is there is only one difference between Krishna and Krishna's name.
Krishna has commas in his holy names. Nama incarnation means Krishna is present with us in his holy name. Even though Krishna is not present physically, he is present in his name. So we can get access to that.
Okay. Through deities, he is accessible through deities. It's only our anarthas we are not able to access him in the deity form that he is there. The only difference he said was that the holy name is at least a zillion times more merciful than Krishna himself. That is the only difference, right? That the holy name is more merciful. Now, how do we know that holy name is more merciful than the Lord himself? Like he was giving an example, like Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada is a best example. Best thing to all. How he gave just the holy name to all these, your drug addicts, and then from there they have become lifetime devotees. And then also he was saying, you know, in the China market, there was a devotee who shared this, right? In the Chinese market with meat in one hand and with liquor in another hand. You know, when he saw this devotee, that man is drunk and with meat, he just said, Hare Krishna. Imagine such a person trying to come, like trying to be entertained in a temple or, you know, in a function or in a this thing. It would be very difficult, right? But see the holy name, you know, the holy name has reached there also. And then, of course, we know this famous shloka in Srimad Bhagavatam. Kahobata swapachoto gariyan ejjigvagre vartate nama tubhyam. Jigvagre. His Grace Ayendra Prabhu is saying, you know, even at the tip of his tongue, he is just saying, Nama, Rama, Krishna, you know, such a person, he's glorified, right? That even though he's a swapacha, he's a, you know, eating meat of a dog is like, even among the meat eaters is like yuck, right? Even such a person is considered to be glorious because he is trying to chant. And then, you know, there is one more shloka. Rigveda ata yajurveda samaveda api atharvanaha aditastena yena yoktam iti aksharadvayam. What does all these say? Aksharadvayam. What is this? Dvi akshara. Ha, ri. Right? So if you just say this, and then it, you know, it is as good. It says, you know, Shastra says, Bhagavad Gita says, Bahunam. If only people have gone through all those things, Bahunam Janmanam Ante, then only he is able to say the name of the Lord. So Haribol to all of us. Okay, irrespective of anarthas, we have come to a stage where we are able to chant the name of the Lord, right? And then also, you know, one more shloka. Nam no hi yavati shakti hi papa nirharane hari tavat kartum na shaknoti pataka pataki naraha. A person cannot even, perform or do so many sinful activities that, you know, the Harinam cannot remove. That is the power. You know, obviously, if Krishna is the supreme, then, you know, a person's, you know, Jagai Madai is one good example for us to think, like how even though they were so sinful, just listening to Harinama, of course, from Nityananda Prabhu, from pure devotees, when the Lord himself and Haridas Thakur, you know, just listening, not even chanting, just listening how they were purified. That the Lord himself came and then took all the papa from all the sins from Jagai and Madai, right? And then there's one more shloka where it says, you know, Adavantya Sarvatra Harigiyate, it says, you know, in the starting, center and end of all the Vedas, all the Shastras, Sarvatra Harigiyate, it says. That's the second line of the shloka. I'm not able to recall the first line. Right? So, glories of the holy name. It is just
And
not enough.
one more shloka, that is Nama Chintamani Rasa Chaitanya Vigraha Purna Shuddho Nitya Nama Abhinatva Nama Nameno. That is also there.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for reminding me of that shloka, Prabhu. Yes, Abhinatva Nama Naminaha. No difference between the name and the this thing. So just now we are through with 12 o'clock. I mean, it's already 12. Since we are talking of the holy name, there's one very nice kirtan. Of course, it is by one of the dasas in the South India, and it is very nice. If it is okay with all of you, I will just sing that kirtan. All of you can add, you know, the last line, last word of the kirtan of every line ends with Krishna. So either you can unmute or mute, and then, you know, can just. But it is very, of course, because it is from one of the dasas, it is very interesting. So I just finish with this kirtan. Kalimalanashaka Keshava Krishna Nagashayana Narayana Krishna Matula Martana Madhava Krishna गोपालक हरि गोविंद कृष्ण विमल स्वरूपने विष्णुवे कृष्ण मुरलीधर मधुसूदन कृष्ण कलिमल नाशक केशव कृष्ण नागशयन नारायण कृष्ण
Krishna,
पद्मावती पति पद्मनाभ
Krishna,
धनुजान्तक दामोदर
Krishna,
परमात्मने पुरुषोत्तम
Krishna,
अमृत रूप द्योक्षज कृष्ण कलिमल नाशक केशव कृष्ण नागशयन नारायण कृष्ण
Krishna,
त्रिनेत्र सकने त्रिविक्रम कृष्ण
Krishna,
वासवानुजने वामन कृष्ण श्रीधर शेषन भीषण कृष्ण हृदय दिनल सो ऋषिकेश कृष्ण
Krishna,
नाशक केशव कृष्ण नागशयन नारायण कृष्ण
Krishna,
फलधराञ्जन श्रीहरि कृष्ण
Krishna,
कृष्ण कृष्ण जय राधा कृष्ण 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 जय राधा कृष्ण 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 करुणा कर कृष्ण दोष क्षमिसि सलहे मनु कृष्ण दास केशवनुत उडुपि श्री कृष्ण कलिमल नाशक केशव कृष्ण नागशयन नारायण कृष्ण नागशयन नारायण कृष्ण नागशयन नारायण कृष्ण Hare Krishna. Thank you, devotees. Hare Krishna.
Very nice, Mataji.
Yeah, I skipped two
Very nice.
verses.
Hare
Somehow I didn't remember, but it is very rhyming. Padmanabha, and then, yeah. If there's any comments or questions, we can take. Otherwise, we can close the class. Hare Krishna.
Okay, I have one like very important question in the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Ram is Radha Raman because many people say Ram is Parshuram, Ram is Akmaram, Ram is Ramachandra, Ram means Ram is Balram. So is the Hare Ram in that that is Radha Raman?
Hare is the name of the
Yes, that I know. Hare
Radharani.
is Radharani, but Ram is Raman. In that means Radha Raman.
Bhavagrahi Janardana. You can take him as Raman. You can take him
No,
as
I want to know the
Rama.
meaning of the word Ram in the means.
Rama means one who enjoys.
So it is Raman, correct?
No, I'm saying it can mean like that. Then there is a acharyas having like lectures. We hear Rama. Vibhishan wrote Rama, Rama everywhere. Then Ravana came and asked, "What is this? You are here in Lanka and you have written Rama." So he says, he said, "No, it is Ravana and Mandodari." I mean, like you can take it as any way, because as devotees, anything they can convert into the Lord's name. I mean, take it as Radha Madhav. Rama can be taken as Radha Madhav, right? It is just, see, that is why consciousness, it is aspect of consciousness. If you, each one have our Icha Devata, each one of us have our Icha Devatas, right? So when contemplating on Krishna's name, Rama also, if you're thinking is as Balaram, you're thinking as Sri Ramchandra as himself. It depends on what we are contemplating on, right? But as such, Rama is, the name of Rama is the enjoyer, is Sri Ramchandra. Then nobody can, I mean, it is not that anybody will say you're wrong if you're thinking of Radha Madhav there when you're saying Rama, right? So there is no black or white. Shades
No,
of
because
gray.
why I'm asking this question is because Srila Prabhupada in the translation of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra used to say that Ram is the pleasure potency, and the pleasure potency in Sanskrit is Raman. So I thought Ram is Raman, means Radha Raman, which is the temple in Vrindavan, which is the like Sambandha Devata, Abhidya Devata, Prayojan Devata, and Radha Raman Devata is also there. So I thought that Hare Ram is the Radha Raman. So I asked this like.
Yeah, that's Yeah, that's what Prabhu. I mean, I cannot say what you're saying is right or wrong. Everything is right. Whatever Rama, like Murari Gupta, though Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said you have to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Murari Gupta couldn't bring himself to chant the name of Krishna. I mean, yeah, because he was a devotee of Sri Ramchandra. If you ask Hanuman to say, instead of Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Sri Krishna, probably he will not be able to do, right? So it is just that each one's bhava, that is why he is bhavagrahi Janardana. So if that is what is coming to your mind, perfectly fine.
Yes, correct.
Right? Hare Krishna. Okay. Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, Dandat Pranams, very wonderful class as always. Mataji, can I add one point, Mataji, to Virendra Prabhu's question?
Many points,
Yeah.
Mataji.
Yeah, so actually, when Prabhupada was asked this, in several occasions he said Rama refers to Balaram, sometimes he said Rama refers to Radha Raman, and continuously when people were asking him after that also, then Prabhupada said, one person said, I'm getting this light in my mind when I chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And he said, you continue chanting Hare Krishna, all the lights will go away. Another time Prabhupada said that, where is the question of thinking? What is the use of the mind? Why do you want to think what it means? Just, that Hare Krishna Mahamantra is, oh Lord Krishna, oh Srimati Radharani, please engage me in your service, right? So when we evolve ourselves into stages of our actual constitutional position, then all of it will be revealed. Prabhupada said, these are Prabhupada's words. So as of now, in our conditioned state, at least I'm talking for myself, what we need to do is, O Supreme Lord Krishna, O Mother of Devotion, Srimati Radharani, O Internal Pleasure Potency of Krishna, please engage me in your service. What Rama means, whether it is Nityananda Ram or Balaram or Radha Raman, everything will be revealed to us at the right time by the mercy of Krishna himself, right? Ata Shri Krishna Namadi na bhaved grahim indriyahi sevon mukhi jivvado swayam eva suratyada, right? In Nectar of Devotion only, in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Sri Rupa Goswami says this. We cannot understand whether Rama is Radha Raman or Balaram or Nityananda Ram, right? All of them are, some are Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, and some are Supreme Servitor Personality of Godhead, right? So whomever we address because our goal is not to become Rama or Krishna. Our goal is to become Gopi Bhartu Padakamalyor Dasa 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 Dasanu Dasa. So until that is revealed to us, we can just simply chant, Oh Krishna, Oh Srimati Radharani, please engage me in your service. And let me perform such service in the mood of the servant of the servant of the servant. That is what is my limited understanding from what I've heard from Prabhupada's lectures, Guru Maharaj's lectures, and other senior devotees' lectures. Is it okay, Virendra Prabhu? Does that help?
Yes, very nice answer you gave. Very nice answer.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Mataji, there is one question in the group. Sindhu Mataji is asking, how many years it takes Mataji to reach Canto 10? Now just in Canto 1 with my Tamil group.
Depends on individual. How can anybody answer that question? Now, if there are devotees who are reading for hours together every day, Srimad Bhagavatam, and then there are devotees who take in a week, they are able to spend some time. It depends on how much time you're spending. Each one is spending. So it will be at least I feel it is difficult to answer that question, right? You may be reading in a group, but what stops one from reading individually, apart from reading in the group, hastening our reading, reading more, right? So actually it is very difficult, at least for me to answer. It definitely depends on each individual, right?
Yeah, and also just to add one more point, actually when Prabhupada always stressed that we are supposed to read from canto to canto, from 1 to 10, and the acharyas and our senior devotees explain that we need not aspire to complete all the 10 cantos. Even if we read Prabhupada's first canto very nicely, 3-4 times we have to read, because they said that Prabhupada was not sure whether how long he will stay to complete the Bhagavatam. So he invested all of his energies in the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So it is said that if we reread, rather than try to attempt to go to the 10th canto, because if we want to aspire to read the Leelas of Krishna, we always have the Krishna book, where Prabhupada has written this wonderful Leelas of Krishna. So what we need to aspire is study the first canto 5 times, 10 times, because we know how much of sacrifice Prabhupada has did to give us this first canto. And that is what he took with him, even to the West. Right? So our aspiration should be to understand, read, read. First canto is enough. At my limited understanding,
Yes,
as far as
because my senior Mataji, she herself is in only in the third canto now. Have to so
yeah,
many
that's what
years.
I'm saying. So the advancement of a devotee does not depend on which canto the person is studying. The advancement of a devotee, like Prabhupada mentions, the greatness of a devotee is the ability to tolerate provoking situations. Right? How much of Bhagavatam we have understood, it depends on how we are living. Right? How we are, whether we are living as per the Bhagavatam principles. It doesn't matter. So actually, we need not even ask devotees which canto they are studying. It doesn't matter. From their behavior, from their character, from the way they preach Krishna consciousness, how they are an aspiration for us, that will determine. And we are no one to judge others. Somebody maybe is just telling that I'm reading first canto, but that person may be 99% in their previous life completion Krishna consciousness, right? They may just come. Like I just want to share one thing. We are almost running out of time, but I just want to share something. His Holiness Jayapataka Swami, Shri Guru Maharaj, when initially. When Maharaj was just first time when he heard, he saw the devotees chanting Hare Krishna, and Guru Maharaj was saying, I found something so familiar, but I could not diagnose what it is. I just turned around and ran some 10 kilometers. I would have ran, and then I was realizing what was happening to me, and then I just immediately came back to check that particular place where all the devotees had gone, and after that, Guru Maharaj was saying, of course he came back, and then he was engaged in the Rath Yatra Seva by Janan Prabhu and all that, right? So we cannot judge by the external things, right? Now we know His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Shri Guru Maharaj has empowered so many disciples to make disciples and bring people to Krishna consciousness. So whether first canto, second canto, doesn't matter. That is just my limited understanding, which I wanted to share, which for your perusal, according to each one's perception, we can take it, but that's my very limited understanding.
Always better to go as per the Guru's words, no Mataji, like starting chapter wise, if we go,
Just read canto.
And more important than reading is Shravanam, hearing, right? See, when we heard from Purnanandini Mataji, she was giving so many examples, isn't it? So we could understand. So one is we read Prabhupada's books because the words are itself so potent, because it's Krishna's words. Prabhupada is saying, I'm just writing. And more importantly, to understand and absorb it in our life, assimilate it, we need to hear it from a devotee who's coming in a bona fide parampara, both of which works. Yeah, so and our intention, like I'm just repeating it because more for myself. I also sometimes get into this. Or abhi to 7th, 8th canto mein phase hain, abhi 10th canto jana hai, 12th canto jana hai, right? That is not the right frame of mind in which we read, because sometimes we rush. That's more for myself.
Before I leave this world, this body, I need to finish 12 cantos.
Oh wow! If that desire itself is enough, Mataji. That desire itself is enough. So that is why I also raise my hand all the time. Most of the time the speakers don't give me a chance, because the acharyas explain that what we can do is only desire. Whether or not we get the seva is completely out of our control. What is within our control? We express our desire. Right? If you have the desire of completing 12 cantos, Prabhupada will fulfill a desire according to the sincerity that we have, right? So that's what it is, Mataji. So that is why Mataji, Purnanandini Mataji, I just simply raise my hand. Please don't
Mataji,
mind.
Thank you. Wait, Virendra Prabhu. No, please wait, Prabhu. Rohini Mataji has been waiting for some time. Kindly wait. Yes, Rohini Mataji.
Purnanandini Mataji, you speak Kannada?
I'm from Bangalore, Mataji.
Mataji, the song that you sang, I remember listening to it in my childhood. Please, Mataji, can you please give the link or something, to Medhavani Mataji? And she'll share it in our group. Please, Mataji.
Along with the tune, Mataji. We need the tune.
A recording of the song also, yeah.
Yes.
Yes, Virendra Prabhu.
One small question is, it is in 15th chapter, Mamava Isho Jiva Loka Jiva Bhuta Sanatana, means we fallen souls are fallen in this material world. So the Paramatma feature is within our heart, and he gives us forgetfulness, memory and intelligence. But once we realize the Supreme God and we go back to spiritual world, so that doesn't remain. The Paramatma is not with us, right?
The Lord only is with us. Why will need the Paramatma?
No, but when we are in the fallen state, that times he follows us. like forgetfulness, intelligence, and memory. But once we realize Krishna in his like pure state, means in the spiritual world, that time he is not with us, the Paramatma.
As Paramatma, see, the question of Atma Paramatma, I mean Paramatma comes because because of the body, and then the soul, with the soul the Paramatma is there. In the spiritual world, the Lord himself is there in the form of the Lord. I mean, you are directly serving the Lord. So why
Okay.
should the aspect of Paramatma come there?
Okay. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Thank you, devotees. Thank you very much for the opportunity to serve. It is
So
purely
much,
being,
Mataji. Wonderful class.
yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji.
Really,
Yeah. Wonderful song
purifying.
also.
Yeah,
Yeah,
purifying.
wonderful song, wonderful class.
Wonderful song. Do it in English language, so we'll understand. Don't go in Kannada script. Hare Krishna.
Yeah,
I think,
we want transliteration, like Prabhupada did transliteration of Sanskrit into English. We also want English transliteration of the song, Mataji. We don't know Kannada.
no, it
Hare Krishna.
will be given in English only. It will be given in English only. Yeah, thank you for that encouragement. I mean, like, I'm not a very good
Thank you,
singer, but
Mataji.
then,
Hare Krishna. Thank you,
yes,
Mataji.
the song and from an Acharya, from a Das, that is how it is attracting everybody. It's just
Tune
that,
also.
I mean, you say, yeah, okay.
Hare Krishna.
Lord Krishna, we
Thank you
could
so much.
enjoy. Yeah.
Kripa Sindhu Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Anantakoti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai. Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Harpesh Purnanandini Madhavi Mataji ki Jai. Anantakoti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo.
Prabhupada ki Jai, all devotees ki Jai. Yes,
Jai.
I just want to add, I use this song in somewhere, Hare Krishna mantra, Mahamantra, if they are not very this thing. So we sing this song, me and Prabhu, and then we ask them to repeat the last letter, last word, the Krishna. So that is how, some way making them sing, say the
Very
name.
catchy song, Mataji, because
Very
Krishna is
nice.
at the end of every sentence.
Yes, yeah. Hare Krishna devotees. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Thank you so much. So meet you all tomorrow morning, 10:55 a.m. as we continue chapter number 13. So please do join us. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. Dandat pranam.
Hare Krishna.
With all your permission, I'm just ending this meeting. Thank you so much.